Hi, my name's Alistair Somerville. I work for Acuity Design. We're a design consultancy who works in accessible design for museums and public spaces, and also facilitates workshops on inclusive design and human-centered design for all types of company. Now, I'm going to start with a phrase that comes up in a lot of our projects, and it is edge users. And it's the idea that there are people who have non-standard capacities. They have differing physical and cognitive needs. And this idea of edge users comes up in projects, and it's deeply difficult because what it shows is that people have chosen a specific perspective and a specific position from which to take the development from. People have chosen that there is a standard viewpoint, and from there, you can see these edge users. And in choosing a viewpoint, in choosing a perspective, you are creating a bias. Now, generally, this bias is towards what is known as normal. Now, normal is an idea which is about 180 years old, and it comes up in the work of Quetelet, a Belgian mathematician who was working in Scotland on analysing the sizes of Scottish troops for their uniforms. And in his data collection and in his data analysis, he came to the idea of the normal distribution curve, the idea that the standard clusters around the middle, and that there are edges to left and right of larger and smaller. Now, this idea that there is an average, that there is a mathematical normal, is in itself neutral. However, the problem is that his work occurred roughly at the same time as the Enlightenment and roughly at the same time as the development of colonialism and imperialism. And his idea that there is a normal became twisted over the 19th and into the 20th century by people who wanted to make a very specific political point. Normal shifted from being merely descriptive of an average of a group to being a measure, and it's shifted from being about the spread and divergence of humanity to being about describing the superiority of one group, and that group is white men. This is what normal became. It became not merely an idea about a standard or a typical person. It became the model of a type of person who was white and masculine. Now, this idea that normal is embedded problematically into our work continues. In the 1990s, you see the work in social psychology on the problem of weird. Now, weird is an acronym. It stands for white, educated, industrialized, rich, democratic. And it was found that not merely were the people doing the research weird, but actually the target groups, the people used in the research, were weird. And so instead of social psychology showing and describing the behavior of humans, what it was in fact describing was the behavior of white men. And this is the problem. Normal creates a bias towards itself. It creates a bias towards the needs and wants of white men. And you see this problem now in the development of machine learning and artificial intelligence systems, where people seem surprised that the systems rapidly develop deeply sexist or deeply racist views. And yet this is what happens because the data sets and the data tools are designed to do it. Because normal became contaminated with the idea of white male superiority, the tools, both in the way that you collect and analyze, will always prove that white men have greater needs and wants above those of women and above those of black people. And this is why I speak of new nexts. In this period, when people are often talking about new normals, the thing we most want to do is get rid of the anchor to normal. Normal biases us to the needs and wants of a very tiny, historically powerful group of people. If we want to actually create global change, then we need to break that anchor and talk of new nexts, a multiplicity of futures, working with people across the world to find and develop new data sets, new data analysis tools, so that we can create a new products and services that meets the needs of the majority of people who live on this planet. Thank you.